Hello, good evening. Good evening, welcome. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you uh, today what I call qualities or skills you should look for or your wife should develop if you're an entrepreneur. Qualities you should look for or your wife should develop as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is very difficult. At least that's what they have told us. And those of us who have tried to live it, it's chaotic, it's tough, it's fun, has a lot of demand on your strength, on your emotions, on your mind, and very few of of uh, of people, very few of us try to engage in that. If you challenge that, look at your classmates that you finished school with in the university, especially. Look out for them, those who have become entrepreneurs, and the percentage I dare say is just between 1 to 2%. It's 1 to 2% because it's that difficult, it's that tough, and but a lot of things are tough and difficult because we have not much knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to go by it. And for most people who are entrepreneurs or who happen to desire to be entrepreneurs, as humans as we are, we would also want to marry and raise families and raise children, and hopefully if I have successful marriages and maybe not divorce. A lot of entrepreneurs divorce, and most of them, even the huge ones, a lot of them marry more than one. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that you hear who have married one, two, three, some of them four, and some of them to have done well to stay with one woman. And I think that those who have been able to stay with one woman, there are some qualities, some skills that those women have. And that's why they've been able to marry today's kind of, people who are constantly going through a lot of turbulence and emotional instability and difficulties that they deal with throughout their career. And so there are things that if I'm talking, the topic is actually for those who are yet to marry, and if you happen to have chosen already, what is it that you can encourage the wife that you have, the woman that you have, the girlfriend that you have, to maybe look at improving and acquiring some of these skills? Because without them, either the marriage won't work or the business won't work, or both of them will collapse, because it's no joke. It's no joke at all. And so without that much understanding, a lot of things are difficult to go by. And I'm talking, as somebody with with a wife, and I have friends who are also going through this thing they call entrepreneurship, and the kind of skills, the kind of disciplines, the kind of things that they have had to endure with to keep the happiness in the marriage, to keep the prosperity and the fun in the marriage. And so my name is Kwabena. I want to share the qualities that you should look for if you are a young man trying to go into entrepreneurship, because it's not joke. It's not joke at all. And if you think that you should marry, then you should look for some of these skills or some of these qualities in the woman that you want to marry. And if you happen to have married too, then maybe, hopefully, if you can convince her to look at some of these things, it will help you. I think one of the major things that you should look for is you should look for the humanity of the heart of that woman that you want to marry. As an entrepreneur, you should look out for that heart, the kindness, the compassion. You should look for that. I'm saying that because you're going to go through a lot of turbulences. You are going to make a lot of difficult decisions. You are going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to make a lot of errors. And if the humanity is not there, she will give up on you that quickly. So you are looking for a kind heart, compassionate heart, a very, most women, I think, are kind. but you want somebody who goes the extra mile, who will not just give up on you, because they will look at you and almost all the decisions, the 1,001 decisions that you're going to make, maybe one will work. The 999 of them may not be so much nice, and they are the ones who are living with you, they bear with all the consequences of your decisions. And so they have to have that largeness of heart to be that kind and compassionate and to endure you. And that not many, because for a lot of women, what they call security is so much important to them, and your journey will take a while before. And when women say security, much of it is really financial security. Much of it is financial security. They've been able to predict that when the child is sick, there will be money. When the school fees is due, there will be money. When the rent, or when you have to build that house, at least you'll have some money to build that house. When the food has to be there, there will be food. Those kind of things. Now, the part that you have taken a part that sometimes you go for years before those things become secure. And so without that humanity of heart, they will give up on you, because you virtually would have to even write to her almost every now and then for money to buy fuel, to buy credit, to eat. And sometimes they would have to foot all the school fees and every expenditure in the house. And that creates a lot of burden for the woman. So if you're looking for quality, you're looking for a woman with that kind of humanity, the kindness of heart, compassion, very high forgiving spirit. Because other than that, there's no chance for the marriage, that I can tell you. Because the part is that much risky. So you look for that kind of kindness of heart, compassion, somebody who has that kind of compassion. And I think it's not just a quality, it's also a skill that they have to develop, because I think most women have it in the primary stage, in an undeveloped stage. Now, if they happen to have an entrepreneur, or if you happen to go to say that you want to become an entrepreneur, the kind of woman that you think you can build a very peaceful, happy, prosperous family and home with, cannot just have a little bit of those. Those things would have to come in a very much big volume, or the marriage will survive, or it will be a very unpeaceful and a very sad home. Okay, so you look for that heart, the humanity of heart. And I think that you should also go for a woman who is that much far more intelligent than you. And if you have the option, go for that. A woman who is that much, deep in thinking, who can use the brain, who can question a lot of things, who thinks far, who takes her decisions seriously, and who has a lot of things put together. You cannot compromise on the intelligence level, because that is really the breaking point. I think that she should be far more intelligent and smarter and wiser than you as a man, I think. Why? Because then it should be able to put you in a serious check. Because when you are so much infatuated with your dream as an entrepreneur, nobody can advise you. Nobody can say anything on you hear, and it's that tough. As a man, and most entrepreneurs are crazy. I tell you, they are crazy. Their mind is one block. They want to go for that business, and nobody else can advise them, and that creates a lot of frustration when the woman is not that strong mentally, and when the woman is not that intelligent. So you check most of these guys who have been able to build businesses from nothing, and who have been able to marry one woman. Usually look at the intelligence level of these women. It's not the average. They are very much intelligent, very much tough-minded, and they're able to stand with these bullies. Stand up to them and question them, and keep their composure. So you have to have, first one, you have to have a very good-hearted woman, compassionate, kind. And the second one, I think, is the breaking point, is that she has to be very much intelligent, far more intelligent than you, and she cannot be any average girl. I tell you, she cannot be any average girl. Then you will not have a family, or you will lose the business, or you will lose the peace in the home, and none of them you want. None of them want. So for you to keep this lifestyle as an entrepreneur, as a business person, and for you to build because you don't just want to marry, you want to marry and have peace and have companionship and have fun at home. And if you say that you have picked this kind of lifestyle, There are skills, there are qualities that that woman must have. If the man, you happen to be the businessman or the entrepreneur, you cannot just pick anybody. Okay, if entrepreneurship is not your game, and if it's not something you're going to do, then it doesn't matter. But if, because this lifestyle is so weird, so weird, it's so different from everybody else, and you're going to go through a lot of situations, a lot of situations. And so you would want to have somebody with that kind of mind, very smart, very courageous, very resilient and buoyant. You look for that. If you happen to, have married, then I don't know, but you just have to find a way to encourage her, maybe to look for this kind of qualities and develop them, this kind of skills and develop them. Because without that, there will be constant disagreement at home. There will be constant fight. There will be constant pain and struggle, because the marriage itself is a lot of load that you're solving, and then the business that you say you are doing, which you don't even know, is also a very crazy thing that you are trying to do. You are trying to do something. The marriage you're building a business. If you don't have a very intelligent woman who can think on her feet or by herself, it's not the one who's running to every woman, every girl, every girlfriend, every friend, and trying to ask for advice every minute. That kind of girl will not run with you, I'm telling you. Or she'll be sad all her life, or you will not be able to build anything by yourself, because you need that kind of intelligence. Very smart woman that you have to look for. So don't, and if they are smarter than you, don't worry, because they really have to be smarter than you. Or your mind, you say that you want to use it to build business, and this one, I tell you, must be that much smarter than you, or there will be trouble. Or at least they should have that skill to be that much smart. They should be able to have a very strong communication skill. They should be able to know how to talk and how to bring their grievances, the things that are very much confusing to them. They should be able to tell you, and they should be able to do it in an environment with some kind of respect, and things like that they say. It's a skill. Communication is a skill. And a woman who is married to an entrepreneur, or you the entrepreneur, who you say that you say you're entrepreneur, or you want to be one, and you're looking for a wife, you don't have to marry. But if you want to marry, look for this. She should have a very strong communication skills, because there are things that you may not be able to say easily, because you're battling with them, you're not even sure. And should be able to extract and ask very much intelligent questions to always help you to clarify a lot of the clumsy decisions that you're making, which any of them can send you into a very difficult situation. Any of them can turn you into debt, can turn you into stagnation, can turn you into anything. So you are looking for somebody who has a very good communication skills. Or if they are married, which then you cannot force them to learn, but it's something that if they are deficient in, then you will see that the fight will be that much, every now and then, because they would also they don't have to struggle that much to tell you what they feel and to put it in a way that they want results. Because without the communication skills, nothing else. Human beings, the only way we get to disagree or agree is because of how we say it, the communication. And she would have to develop that craft, that skill, because it's a skill. It's not just you are just opening your mouth to say things, because this guy that you're going to marry, or the one that you're marrying, who is saying that he's an entrepreneur, because his motions are always going up and down, there should be a craft that the woman in his life should master, and that will be how to extract information from this guy, how to get this guy to understand some things, and how to get the family to go forward, because they can easily go into quietness, or they can easily just explode, and it will be no fault of the woman, but this guy is dealing with a lot of problems every day. Okay, so communication skill is very important. And the other one they say will be, she should be a very honest woman. Very honest woman. She should cherish being honest and being truthful in all your dealings, because without it, then if she's hiding things from you, if she has a tendency not to be that much bold, because being honest is a product of courage, and is a product of in-depth of thinking. because the simple-minded easily lies. A simple-minded person easily lies. So you want a woman who will be honest, and it's a quality, it's a skill. If you see a woman who is trustworthy, almost likely that that woman has a lot of other skills ongoing, a lot of other skills that are beneficial to the entrepreneur. So she should be honest with you. Don't take that for granted. She should be honest in her dealings. So if she's your girlfriend and she's hiding a lot of things from you, oh boy, you don't need that, because the lifestyle that you say you want as an entrepreneur is very much strange, and so you don't want somebody who will be that much trivial and trying to hide things from you. You don't need that, because it wastes a lot of time, and you don't have time. You are always thinking, planning, and still you say that you want to build a family, you want to build a business, and you want to build a family. So you don't want the one who is just trying to be funny. Okay, and you should have a very good sense of life in terms of being positive. You should be hopeful that things will work out no matter how long it takes. She should be, if she's that much negative, it's going to be tough for you. If she's that much negativity kills entrepreneurs. They kill entrepreneurs than any other thing. And so if the people around you are that much negative, you are going to suffer. You're going to suffer, because if you make 100 decisions, especially at the startup stage, okay, if you make 100 decisions, about maybe only 2-3% are going to work at the startup stage. Why? Because you're developing as an entrepreneur, and you are developing as an entrepreneur. You are developing as an entrepreneur, and so if she's not going to be that much straight with you, it's not going to work. It's not going to help you at all. The other thing that and if she's not positive, that's what I was trying to say. If she's that much negative and driven to negativity, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, because every now you would have to pump yourself to be positive and keep going, because the other day somebody stole the money, the other day an employee just quit without you expecting, the other day the loan didn't come through, or the payment didn't come through, the product didn't work, the product you introduced never came out, the project that you've been expecting for the last 3 years, eventually somebody else gave it to another person. There's all kind of things that, if you're not that much up with being positive and having positive way of looking at life, then it will be difficult for you. It will be very much difficult for you. And so the woman must have that kind of skill as well. She should be the one encouraging you. When things are broken and when things are down, she should not become part of the problem. She should not become, why did I even come to marry this kind of person? I could have had another one and life would have been easy. Do we have to struggle all this like that to build a family? We cannot even have this. No, you don't want a woman like that. You want somebody who is positive, because she's saying the path that you are taking, that even though it can be tough, it can be struggling, it can be difficult, but there's also a point where things can explode. And so she doesn't want to kill your spirit before you get to the explode to the point where things begin to work. So she has to have that kind of personality that is full of being, positivity, hope, and always encouraging you. You yourself can even sometimes calm down, and she will come to say that, no, you say that I'm not going to try that business again, I'm not going to talk to that man again, and she comes to you to say that, no, I think that you should look at it, you should go again. You never know, it may work. So you need those kind of women. This is a skill. If you have the other side, don't try to be a business person. Go and get a job, because for you to become a business person and your wife is that negative, you will be so much lonely, and I can say that it will break the marriage, or you'll live in pain for a very long time. So there are qualities that the woman must know and must develop. Or if you're yet to go for her and you think that you are going to be a business person, or you're going to be an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur and you are looking for a woman to marry, you look for somebody who has a very high sense of positivity of life. She's not the one trying to look and take all the negative points. It will kill you. It won't work. I tell you, it will kill you. It won't work. She will not be proud of you. She will not be happy. She will be looking. She'll be comparing all the time. All your friends who you completed school with, who have become bank managers and politicians and pastors with nice Land Cruiser and big houses, and you are still full of hope. Over the last 5, 10 years, you are still hopeful, and everything that you're doing is not working. Wow, it's not working. You need a woman with different kind of character and with different kind of skill. With different kind of character and with a different kind of skill. And you should also look for somebody who can be that much stable when even both of you are disagreeing, when there is a disagreement, when there is a fight. He should not be somebody who is hysterical, who is explosive. She should be that much calm and stable, and you look for those kind of tendencies. She cannot be that much who is out talking you and shouting. It will break the marriage. It will break the marriage, because I think that marriage really, it's a scaled product. Successful marriage is a scaled product. I mean, there are qualities that both of you must have or must develop constantly to keep the marriage prosperous, fun, to keep it growing, and to raise children who are fit and who are stabilized. So it's a scale, I think that, and the scale must have some kind of qualities that the people must have to develop. And one of it, I am saying, is that they should be able to be stable, even when there are disagreements between both of you, and not to be that much. Some people, when they are fighting, if you live in a compound house and you see some people, a man and wife, fighting, you think that they will not get to the house again. That is not the kind of thing that you need as an entrepreneur. So you look for that, and somebody who will be able to look at your mistakes and create jokes and create fun and laugh at you. It's very much important. All the things that she may have even advised you that this thing, don't do it. And you being stubborn as you are, which men are, you went ahead, you did it. Sometimes you may not have even told her. And then when the thing didn't work, then you came to tell her. She should not be the one who should be, beating you with those kind of things. And she should be a kind of personality who can even look at it and create fun and create jokes out of the most painful moments. The things that, crack jokes. People who walk off on you, people you so much trusted, and they went, and you can create fun out of that, because that is really the processes that entrepreneurs go through. And so if you're looking for a wife, if you have a wife and they don't develop some of these skills, you will not be able to have a very peaceful home, or you will sacrifice the marriage and the family for the business, or you probably would have to sacrifice the business for the family. And each of them is not good. Each of them is not good, and they should not bear a lot of. There should not be you should not be a person who holds on to a lot of things, who cannot be unforgiving. They should not be that. The woman should not be that. The woman should be somebody who can let things go, who can let go, who can let go, who can let go, who can let go. And sometimes you should be able to, when you are making a lot of difficult decisions, you should be able to tell you that, listen, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. You need somebody like that. You need somebody like that would move a position just to be part of what you're doing. And she should also have her own dreams, her own aspirations, and she should also have a life of her own, and should be independent in thinking and have her own life and enjoy her own life. That is the way you have a peaceful home as a man, an entrepreneur who is trying to build a business. There are qualities that you look for. That's why they hear, the business people, they are not able to build home. It's because they did not look for most of these skills. Look for that, because marriage is building, and it takes skills to build anything. It takes skills to build anything. It takes skills. If you are not conscious of it, and probably you chose somebody, then maybe now you have to just open the discussion again and say that, listen, this is the path that I've taken. And if you are going to build this life together, this family together, and if I'm going to build this lifestyle as an entrepreneur, these are the qualities that we must look at and develop, or the marriage will break, or it will not be. If you stay, the fact that people are staying together does not mean that you're enjoying the marriage. A lot of them are just sad. You don't have to be sad all your life trying to put out a show for others. If you're going to marry, then it has to be something that is fun and happy and prosperous and beneficial, because there's a reason for you for both of you coming together. So you look for that. If there are skills, if you work with them, they will help you. They should have a good heart towards their family, their extended family, their brothers, their sisters, their parents. They should have those kind of things intact. If they come with that, it will help you. If they grew themselves, if they grew themselves, if they live by themselves and there was nobody, they have a deficit which will explode as you are, because it's likely that you as an entrepreneur, you had a very bad and family background. I think most of them are very much stubborn and coming from dysfunctional homes, So if she's also happen to have come from that, then it's fire to fire. So you want somebody at least who is very much in tune with their families and who probably may have been groomed well, I think. But it does not mean that if they didn't have that, they cannot develop that. But it's then you see the danger that comes with it, because then it's a warning sign, which means that you have to double work to have this kind of wife, and she should be so much supportive of the dream that we are building business, because the business is not only for you, it's for the family as well. She's a wife. If there is money, it will splash everywhere. And if there is trouble and poverty, it affects everybody. So you will need that absolute support from that woman. And support really is a skill. So she either has to develop them or she must have them. And if you are yet to choose her, look for some of these things, because it's a tough business to build a family and to raise children, and also to say that you are building a business and you are an entrepreneur. It's crazy. So there are things that you have to raise yourself so much high that the things that are beneath that are getting people's attention and breaking the marriages will not get to you. And that will call for you being able to have a woman who has some of these skills, and constantly working on them constantly. Because the moment you overlook any of them, there will be high temperature at home. There will be serious temperature at home, I tell you. It's serious temperature. You can't have your peace. And if you don't have your peace, you start to think of whether to want to keep the family or you want to keep the business. And that's why people divorce. Because then they want to say that I want my peace. I want my peace. I cannot keep you here, and for you to always be talking to me badly and be insinuating me every day, trying to remind me of my mistakes and my inefficiencies, trying to talk me down out of my dreams. This is what I want to do. I want to build a business, and I'm focused on it. And the woman will also be saying that, listen, I've followed you for how many years now? 10 years. You started saying this thing when we were dating on campus, and now you still don't have anything to show. I don't think that business is for you. Go and look for a job, or maybe go and become a politician or something like that, Then things like that happen. Things happen in people's home. Why? It's not because the entrepreneurship is tough. Yes, it's tough, it's difficult, but if you get the right tools and the right skills as the one who is entrepreneur, and if you happen to have a wife, she should also have some of these skills developed. Because with these skills or with these qualities, it is doable. You can still go through all the terrains, all the turbulences, all the things that entrepreneurs go through, and still build a very successful, very peaceful, very prosperous family and marriage. It's still possible, but it is done knowing that there are skills that you need. And the best way is to make sure that the one that you happen to choose, if you have not chosen, should come with a lot of these, even if not all, with some of these skills. Then it is easier for her to develop her own self. But if they come with zero, and you just went for a woman with a very beautiful face, a lot of Ghanaian women, a lot of Ghanaian men like very fair skin, women. So you were looking for height and skin color, or you were looking at maybe, the things that men look for, trying to look for a wife. Let's say you want somebody with skill to build a family as a business person. You're not looking for outlooks, because those things are not skill. Those things are just natural endowment, that God gave to the woman. So her color, her mouth, her hair, those things don't build a family, and don't usually build don't contribute to your dreams as an entrepreneur. So you are looking for these skills, because without them, you will not be able to. You will give up on your dream, or you will separate from that man, that woman. Haven't you seen very successful entrepreneurs who have divorced very beautiful women, or very ambitious men who have divorced very beautiful women and gone for not so beautiful woman? Do you know why? Because that woman came with a lot of these skills. Okay, and it's the skills that you live with. It's not the face, it's not the behind, it's not the breast, it's not all those things that when you're a little boy you look for. You look at a woman, you admire her body. Those are not the things that you need to build a very successful home as an entrepreneur. Okay, so you are looking for the skills that the woman is coming with, the mindset, the maturity level, the emotional stability, a heart, the likeness of a heart. Those are the things that you need to build a family as an entrepreneur. If I work with the government, I may reduce some of these skills, because I'm always probably with her. Now, as an entrepreneur, you're always on the road. You're always not sure of what you're doing, and it's very much opposite to what a lot of women want to see in their men, because they want to see you being sure of what you're doing. They want to see the salary coming consistently. They want to see you being able, you're bold to say this is what is going to happen. The fact is that when you start, even if you're bold, you don't know what is going to happen, and you don't know how much salary is coming in, and it's crazy until you become skilled, until you get to know what you're doing. And so she must come, or she must develop some of these skills to complement you on the journey. Then you'll be able to go through safely and be able to build what I think will be a very good family, because it takes a lot of skills, some qualities to build a family, and especially for you as an entrepreneur. You look for this. You don't just look for she has a university education. Yes, it's good. Go for that. But what are the other skills that you need that she has to bring? So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about the skills that you look for, the qualities that you look for, the woman that you want to marry as an entrepreneur, or the skills that your wife should look at developing herself, as she has become married to an entrepreneur, because the journey is very rough, very chaotic. If you start a business, they can give you loan 1 million for a project, and if you lose that money, it becomes your debt. You know that. Now, if I was working and they pay me 2,000, there's no way a bank will give me 1 million. You know that. Okay. So they say, so it's a rough, separate journey, and it's a tool, it's a machine that you're building. And if you're able to build that machine well, you create wealth. It could become explosive. Usually, when we start, we don't have the money, we don't have the scale, we don't have the network, we don't have anything. And so, if you are very much intelligent and maybe you started early in your 19s, in your 15s, then by the time that you start to think of marrying a woman, maybe you would have accumulated and gone through that stage where at least the unpredictability has reduced. But if you happen to have started late, and maybe you were dating a woman, or you happen to have married and then you started, there are different kind of things that the woman must have, or they'll be, even if they don't talk, and they are not telling you and they are not fighting you, if they don't have these skills, they will be living in pain for all those times. They will live in confusion, they will live in pain, they will live in comparison with their friends and their friend husbands who are very much successful. Successful in good, And so these are skills that I think you should encourage her to look at it. And if you are yet to choose, and you say, because a lot of guys now are saying that they want to be entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurship percentage is very, very small. If you don't know, well, look at your classmates and look at how many of them are trying to build business. Very few. We are in the minority, very small number, and it's that much volatile, crazy, it's painful, but it's also very much gratifying, and you get to live the life that you want. And if you succeed, nothing more brings in a lot of financial successes, and you succeed as a big business person. But it takes you a while for you to get there. You may get there, you may not get there. But if you don't give up, by all means, you will achieve more than any other option that they may have given you. So my name is Kwabena. And so you choose the woman you want to end. You want to be successful owning the business, and you would want to also be successful having a family and having a wife, and not just having them, having a peaceful one, a prosperous one, a more cooperating, supportive one. And that, I am saying, there are skills that the woman must have. I am not talking about the skills of the man. I'm talking about the skills that the woman must have. And so if you are that kind of, you're kind of people who just looking at beautiful women to marry without looking for the skills, and some of them, they are just looking for moralities, looking for a woman who's not drinking, who's not sleeping with men. Okay, it's good, but that itself is not a skill that much that will help you to succeed. Okay, because there are other things that the woman must have. And one of the things that I said is that she should have a very big heart, good heart, very large heart to endure all the things that you would come up with. And a lot of them will be mistakes, a lot of them will be errors, a lot of them will be very much disgraceful, you know, much disgraceful, and sometimes the family may not be happy with her marrying this kind of people, because when it is at the green stage, nobody is proud of you. Nobody is proud of you, and you may be taking your money to buy kilowele and credit and everything, and stuff. But it's that. So she should have good heart, and she should have very strong communication skills. She should be able to know how to tell you her feelings and build a peaceful home, and with respect, because it is tough for a woman to respect a guy who is not being stable, and that's the entrepreneurship. You're not going to be stable at the beginning, and that might tough for a woman. But if she's thoughtful, then she'll know that along the line you'll succeed, and it will wipe a lot of the mistakes and the disgrace. The other thing is that I think that she'll be far more intelligent than you. I think so. She should be that much sharper and thoughtful and deep and organized and orderly more than you. So you look for those kind of girls, okay? Because that way she'll be able to endure all your, the other things that you don't know. And she should have some kind of affection as well, loving. There should be some passion in the family, passion, affection, like that. She should be able to, look at you and admire you and see how much she's blessed to have a man like you. And that is a skill to keep that kind of thing going, because you yourself will be wallowing in some other things that you may not think that you are even somebody that somebody should have affection towards, but that affection should be there, that passion should be there. And so that is it. And you should have a very good sense, positive sense of life, and you should be able to create a lot of those errors and painful moments into fun and jokes. I tell you, into fun and jokes. And she should have compassion and should be able to be stable in times where things are not working, and when you fight, you should be able to regather and come and agree, because the moment there's disagreement, bad decisions can be made that can become perpetual pain on the family. And you should have your own dreams. You could also have your own businesses, and that is another danger for both of you, but at least it's beneficial. So she has a dream and she's living, and it's mutual, each of you respecting and growing and working towards that what you think the family came together to do, and be able to overcome your flaws and your mistakes and those things, and not hold a lot of bad things against yourself. So if you develop some of these skills, I think that you'll be able to build the business, and you'll be able to build the family as well. You'll be able to do both of them, and it's doable. It's really doable. It's not impossible. It's possible, but it is possible with knowledge. It is possible with training. It is possible with skill. It is possible with understanding. And so the woman is not the one just only looking at how to go to and do manicure and what is a pedicure, those things that and do makeup and do her hair, and that's all the quality that she adds to herself. No, she should be the one reading books, studying, building herself, going for knowledge, going for training, because you cannot build a skill without the required knowledge. So the family is not just magic. It doesn't just happen. Successful families don't just happen. And if you're a woman and you happen to marry an entrepreneur, just know that it doesn't just happen. It calls for a lot of skill, endurance, compassion. You have to be way far intelligent. You cannot be listening to Peace FM and watching Kukumbaja all the time and think that you'll be able to marry this guy who says that he's an entrepreneur and he's going to go through. He's going to create a lot of problems for you. But if you develop yourself and you develop some of these skills, it is doable. You will not worry that much. You will not live in pain and you will not live in regret. You have fun knowing that this is the kind of guy that you have married. He's crazy and he's ambitious. He's unpredictable and he can be explosive. And if he succeeds, it will be one of the, you will live in a whole different world if he's able to succeed. And with that support, I think nothing can stop both of you from succeeding. Both of you from succeeding in building your businesses and in building the family and raising fantastic children and achieving your goals, achieving your talents, and helping a lot of people with that. Because when you succeed with your business, you don't only benefit. There are a lot of people who benefit because you took the risk. And now that the risk has become something beneficial, it goes beyond just you and your family. It affects the whole society, it affects the whole country, and possibly it can even affect the whole continent. So you don't want your man to go through a lot and he goes through it lonely. And then when he succeeds, and you don't want to go through a stage where you are insulting him, you are bringing all the mistakes, you're not proud of him, you are hiding a lot of things from him. You are lying to him. When you get one CD, you want to hide it from him because this guy has no money. Every now and then he's asking for money. He has a lot of money in projects and they are not paying, and people are insulting you, and you are disheartened by that. No, it's part of the process. It's not convenient. It's not good. He may even look like he's not intelligent at all. He's stuffed. No. If he took that risk, he's intelligent. If he took that risk, he's courageous. And very few men are that courageous to start a business and dare to live their dreams. Okay, and if he's successful, you never worry about being fired from his job. And if he's ever successful, you overcome poverty for the rest of your life. And you can plan all your life. And you can bequeath this kind of business or this kind of asset to your children. So it's a part that you're taking. Just know that you'll be among very few women who are married to entrepreneurs, okay? And help him to become that much ethical, honest, organized, character-driven, become very much data analytical, get the tools that entrepreneurs need. And it's all about thinking and planning. And if you happen to see some people around him that you are not comfortable with, he may not see it. Just draw his attention. Even if he doesn't agree, say it today, next time say it again without fighting. Just tell him that this guy, I think that this guy is not straight. And so you have to look at him well. Sometimes he's making some decisions you know that he will not agree. No problem. You can turn into a fight that night, but make sure the fight goes off and the next day bring it up. Because you need that kind of support. He may not agree. The thing is that when it doesn't work, you'll come back to say that this thing you said it all, and I didn't listen. And you don't have to say that, but I told you. That's why I don't want to say anything to you again. No. There's a lot of things going on in his head. And a lot of the times he's not even sure of what he's doing. At the beginning, he may not be sure of what he's doing. But don't beat him down. Give him a lot of encouragement. And you as a man, as an entrepreneur, these are the kind of women that you want. So if you think that you have to go for a very low woman, what you're saying is that you just want somebody you can control. And the moment you can control that woman, what you're saying is that you don't want the future. You're just talking with your mouth. Or you don't want that future because that future will need skill to build. And one of the people that you almost spending your life with is that woman. Okay, so whether you like it or not, he's going to talk. He's going to say a lot of things to you. They will affect you. So you might as well pick the one who would understand the journey and who have those skills that you need to get there. Because you must get there. Right? The president has a wife. What you don't know is that spends a lot of time with the wife. Okay, so if the woman does not like one minister somewhere, or if you go there and the woman is suspicious of you, I tell you, she will say it to the man. And if your name comes up, they'll fire you. And so the same with the businessman. If you happen to have a wife, they see a lot. They see a lot. They see a lot. They may not even have any data to support it, but their intuitions are very much sharp, very much accurate. I tell you, they may not have reasons for it, but they could see in the future with their intuitions. And if you listen to them, you may be saving yourself from a lot of pain and a lot of errors, especially when it comes to money decisions and when it comes to people around you. And if you didn't have that or those skills developed in a woman, you will not benefit. It will delay you. It will actually put you into a lot of detour. And when you have that kind of woman, then you have to also train yourself to give her ear and listen and encourage her, even if it's tough for you. You just have to encourage her and to not struggle to get your attention, trying to tell you what she thinks is of importance to you as an entrepreneur, and is important to the family as well. So thank you for watching. I think I'm done. Thank you.